Welcome to Divorce Talk with Nicola Beer, a show dedicated to creating change and emotional healing for executives, professionals, and expats in the various stages of marriage breakdown and divorce. Discover insightful strategies to better manage your personal affairs and learn secrets to creating more happiness, love, and success in your life today.
Hi there and welcome. This is Nicola Beer, and today's topic is about guilt. 7 truths about guilt is what I'm going to be sharing with you, because when will I stop feeling guilty is a question that comes up frequently in my private online sessions. Typically, it's where after much deliberation and consideration, someone has decided to leave their marriage and cannot shake off the breakup and divorce guilt. Some worry about how their ex has taken the news. Others are consumed with fears about the impact it will have on children. And then there are those who feel guilty for causing pain, shame and disrespect to their parents and extended family. Often they will say to me, "I know I've done the right thing, and it would be far worse for all concerned if I stayed for guilt alone. But when will I stop feeling guilty?" To which I reply lovingly, when you decide to. You see, feeling guilty may not seem like a choice, but it is. Having worked extensively with countless individuals to release breakup and divorce guilt, I use a combination of techniques, which typically includes a revitalizing meditation process, followed by a step-by-step action plan to move forward. Another key step is sharing the 7 truths that I've learned about guilt. And many find these truths liberating, no matter what the guilt is about. So as my gift for you today, I'm going to be talking about the 7 living guilt-free truths. So I really hope that you maybe take some notes or learn from them and, benefit from them. And let me know if you do try them or what you think, or any ones that are helpful for you, or even if you have any more tips. You're welcome to email me at nicola@purepeacecoaching.com or join the conversation on LinkedIn or Facebook, because they're on my Facebook page, Nicola Beer, or my LinkedIn, Nicola Beer. So, number 1, guilt doesn't exist in the present. Think about it. It's impossible to feel guilty when you're truly living in the moment. Guilt is either overanalyzing and dredging up the past, or focusing on what you should have done or not done, or it's anxious and fearful thoughts about things that might happen or might not happen in the future. If you practice living in the moment and being present and reminding yourself every time thoughts occur that they don't matter in this moment, you'll be well on your way to freedom. To support you further, there are a number of things you can do to really stay in the present. Children is one. Being around children, because children are always living in the present. They're not thinking about what's going to happen in the future. They're not dwelling over the past. They laugh, they play, they want things now, they want that chocolate now, or they want to play now. There's no time, concepts of time, especially young children. And we can all learn from them about just living and being in the right now. Another thing you can do is full awareness. Next time your mind wanders when you're in the shower, or you're walking, or you're driving, or you're cooking, or you're watching TV, or whatever you're doing, bring yourself back to the moment. I sometimes find that my mind wanders when I'm walking, and sometimes it can be great wandering, and sometimes it can be, worrying about things. So to really just ground yourself, bring yourself back to the moment by focusing on what exactly is happening. Really tap into your senses. What do you feel? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you touch? What do you taste? And through focusing on these 5 senses, we can bring ourselves back to the present immediately. Another thing you can do to really be in the present is just stillness. Just simply sitting quietly, stilling your mind, stilling your body, and bringing calmness and peace into the moment. Calm your thoughts. Truth 2 is that guilt is often confused with grief. Now, when you look up guilt in the English dictionary, it implies intent to harm, which rarely accurately describes someone's decision to separate or divorce. Did you deliberately want to inflict pain? I've asked countless individuals in my practice, did you set out to harm your ex or your children? Only one person in many years has said yes. The rest acknowledge that perhaps the word guilt is not an accurate expression of what they are experiencing and instead are consumed with wishes, which is typical when dealing with the loss of a marriage and an end of relationship. So wouldn't it be more appropriate, I say to them, to acknowledge that perhaps you're wishing things were different? Perhaps you wish you'd done less, or you wish you'd done more of something, or you wish you told them in a different way, or you wish you did this, or that you're sad because the dreams you had for your future have been shattered, and you're grieving the loss of expectations and hopes. Grief is a natural and normal reaction following a loss. To heal, you need to nurture yourself as you go through it. Breakup and divorce guilt is not nurturing, it's damaging. So just decide to let it go and care for yourself. Guilt is pointless. Whatever you're feeling about right now, stop and ask yourself for a moment, who is benefiting from it? Who does it serve when you feel this way? What good in life is it doing? That's right. No one. It's a wasted and pointless emotion, so don't let it consume you any more of your energy. No one's going to benefit from you feeling guilty. All you're doing is punishing yourself. So practice thinking to yourself, I'm not going to do this because even the person that I'm feeling guilty about and I want to help, or I'm thinking about my children, my ex, my in-laws, or my parents, you're not helping them by feeling guilty, and you're certainly not helping yourself. And so when you're feeling guilty, the only thing that you can do is to get into action, which is the next truth. Guilt is a signal to act. So most breakup and divorce guilt can be eliminated by stepping into action. Use the feeling to spring into doing something positive. What is your guilt signaling to you? What will it help lessen or disappear? For example, if you have guilt over how divorce will impact your children, you can get expert advice from a specialist, read parenting books on helping them cope with divorce losses, or ask a family friend or relative or teacher to talk to them. If you're feeling guilty about the way you treated your ex, or if you're feeling guilty about the way you reacted to a family member, then perhaps it's time to apologise, and the action that you need to take is to say, I'm sorry. And that can be through a letter, a gift, meeting them face to face. Acknowledge where you were at fault and take responsibility. It's never too late to make a heartfelt apology, even if it's years later. And just ensure that you have no expectations from it, because apologies should always be about the other person. Apologies aren't about you if you're apologising, they're about them. And therefore we shouldn't expect anything, and we should never ask for forgiveness either, because that's manipulative. They can decide if they want to forgive. It's our duty to just apologise and let them decide. Number 5 is we can stop guilt in its tracks. When I feel guilty, I say to myself, how is this helping me? And this breaks my trail of thought, and I answer in my head, it's not helping me at all. And then I let it go. Rayan was struggling with his divorce and found very guilty over his children. And so he shouts now, here I go again. Or stop, here I go again, when he has divorce guilt over his children. Truth 6 is no one can make you feel guilty unless you let them. At the beginning, I mentioned that you get to decide whether you have breakup or divorce guilt, and I meant it. No one can make you feel guilty without your permission. Only if you accept it, they can. And if you're feeling guilty about the breakup and divorce, perhaps you need to look at whether you've violated your own values and standards. Often when I feel guilty about things, it's because I'm disappointed with myself. I'm disappointed with how I've acted and I haven't stood up or met my high expectations. So there's two things you can do there. You can either make a promise and a commitment, right, I'm not going to do that again, or you can forgive yourself, or you can change your expectations and say, maybe I'm being too harsh or too hard on myself. It's natural that sometimes I'm going to snap. It's natural that sometimes I'm going to be stressed. So if that's the case, just allow that. Another thing that can be really good to be aware of is something sticks to you, something triggers you. There's a sign that you need to work on something. And that can be great because we can grow from our triggers. We can learn from them. We can grow from them. And self-forgiveness is a great way to start. So this brings me to my final truth, and that's using guilt to avoid mistakes doesn't work. I find that many of us punish ourselves from time to time. Typically we do it in the hope that we will avoid making the same mistakes again. So we might punish ourselves by not eating, by eating the wrong things, by not sleeping, by doing things to make ourselves feel bad. And guilt is one area which some people do, so they think, right, if I feel really guilty, I won't do that again. I see it a lot when people come to me and they say on a hangover, they say, they replay everything they said when they were drunk to make sure that they never get drunk again. And this is kind of like a bullying, a beating up, and it doesn't work. It doesn't help. It's not a positive thing to do. Repeating the past never works because what you're doing is you're focusing on what you don't want. You're focusing on the worst. You're focusing on the bad. You're focusing on the negative. And that creates more negative things. And you don't want more of the same. So if this is true for you, write down what you want instead for your future and focus on that. And then give yourself the love, the understanding, the compassion that you deserve. Practice being kind to yourself daily. Well, I hope this has been useful to you. Guilt can lead to both minor and major health problems. So I really urge you to get some support if your guilt isn't shifting. Maybe there's some other techniques you can do, like a meditation or talking it through or journaling. Get some support from friends, books, an expert. Just do something today to really change it. And I'd love to hear any ways that you have or any truths you have about guilt. And as I said, you can share them with everyone. So that'll be on my website or on my LinkedIn or on my Facebook. Just search for me, Nicola Beer. So I really hope that has been useful to you today. Just one more thing that I really want to say is that just remember that feelings, circumstances, and people change. And we cannot control these things outside of us. And yet what we can do is just accept the new path. Rid yourself of guilt from divorce or breakups and commit to live your life passionately. When things don't turn out as expected as they happen, accept it. Open your arms, open your eyes, open your heart wide and take the lessons and create a new beginning. If you like this, then perhaps you might like my free ebooks on my website, which give a bit more information on how to save a marriage, on how to create a new life after divorce, and how to help children through divorce. And you can just go to www.purepeacecoaching.com. Thank you again, and wishing you a wonderful week ahead.
Thank you for listening to Divorce Talk with Nicola Beer. If you have enjoyed the program, please leave a rating and review on iTunes so more people dealing with marriage breakdown and divorce get the support they need. If you want more great free resources, such as secrets to a happier relationship, moving on fast after divorce, or tips on parenting through divorce, be sure to visit www.purepeacecoaching.com today.